Let's start with second chapter, networking. A lot of questions come to my mind like what is network, what is networking. Let's learn the concept one by one. Networking is defined as connecting devices together so that they can communicate with each other in order to share data, files, computing resources. Networking happens all around us in our PCs, ATMs, and cell phones. To understand the establishment of a networking, we have to first understand network topology. What is network topology? Network topology is the architecture of network, how the network is laid down to make intercommunication channel. There are various ways to lay down a network which is called topology, types and type of topology. Let's discuss them one by one. First one is bus topology. A bus topology defines a multi-point configuration. One long cable acts as a backbone to link all the devices in a network. Left hand side diagram is of bus topology. Second one is ring topology. In a ring topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point line configuration with only two devices on either side of it. A right hand side figure shows ring topology. Third one is tree topology. Tree topology is the variation of star topology. Nodes in tree are linked to a central hub as is done in a star, but every device is not directly connected or plugged to a central hub. The majority of devices connected to a secondary hub that in turn is connected to the central hub. You can see the left hand side diagram of tree topology. Fourth one is star topology. So what is star topology? In a star topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point link to a central controller called hub. The devices or computer are not directly connected to each other. Most of the organizations choose star topology for their network. You can see a right hand side diagram of a star topology. Fifth one is mesh topology. In mesh topology, each and every computer is connected to the remaining all the computer. You can see the diagram. Mesh topology is quite stable but expensive topology. We can say it is the robust topology. To make a stable network, we need networking devices. These devices work as an interface. There are some network devices like hub, switch, router, repeater which are used to build the network. So what is hub? Hub is a semiconductor device which distribute the incoming signal to the available live machine. Hub is not an intelligence device. It only broadcasts and distributes the incoming signal. Switch. Switch is an intra-network intelligence device. In OSI layer, switch is installed in data link layer. That's why it is called layer 2 switch. Switch maintain a table which contain the listing of IP address and associated MAC address. What is router? Router is an inter-network device used to transfer data packet from source IP address to destination IP address. Router installed in layer 3 in OSI model. That's why it is called layer 3 device. What is repeater? Repeater is also a network device used for the amplification of weaker signal. Repeater is also a layer 2 device. Now to connect these networking devices we need cables. There are different type of cables used in networking. For an example, unshielded twisted pair cable, and optical fiber, etc. Unshielded twisted pair cables also called UTP cable. As per the type of device connected, we have to make straight cabling or cross cabling. If we connect same type of devices with each other, then we have to use cross cabling. And if we are going to connect different type of devices with each other, then we have to choose straight cabling. Here the same type of devices means one computer directly connected to another computer, and different type of devices means computer connected to the router. One of the important concepts in networking is port. So what is port? The term port can be referred to as either physical or virtual connection point. The example of physical connection port are Ethernet port and USB port. Virtual port can be defined as a port associated with an IP address of the host as well as the type of protocol used for communication. The purpose of port is to uniquely identify different applications or processes running on a single computer. Total number of ports in a computer ranges from 1 to 65,535. Port number 0 is reserved and can be used. We have seen the concept of ports. Now we have to learn about ports and services running on that port. Port number 21 has FTP service which provide FTP protocol or FTP control. Port number 22 has SSH service which is used for a remote login. Port number 23 has Telnet service which is used for remote login. Port number 25 has SMTP service which is simple mail transfer protocol which is used for mailing purpose. Port number 80 has HTTP service which is used for World Wide Web. Port number 110 has POP3 service which is called Post Office Protocol version 3 used to receive the mail. Port number 443 has HTTPS service which help you for secure login. To know how actually these digital machines means computer work, we have to understand the OSI model. OSI model is a 7-layer architecture starting from bottom. First layer is physical layer, second layer is data link layer, third layer is network layer, fourth layer is transport layer, fifth layer is session layer, sixth layer is presentation layer, and seventh layer is application layer. Physical layer deal with bits transmission. Data link layer has two subdivision. First one is LLC means logical link control and MAC media access control. LLC work as an interface between network layer and data link layer, and media access control layer provide MAC filtering. Network device switch installed in layer 2 of OSI model means data link layer. Network layer contain IP address protocol which is called Internet Protocol or Inter-Networking Protocol. Network layer also have ARP, RARP, ICMP, IGMP protocols. Network device router installed in the network layer of OSI. Fourth layer is transport layer. It has a job role to establish and disconnect connection between machines. TCP and UDP protocol operate in transport layer. Fifth layer is session layer, whose function is to create and destroy sessions of the application in a machine. Sixth layer is presentation layer, and their work is to identify how to present the data, means analyze the file format and represent it in correct form. Seventh and the last layer is application layer, which work as an interface for the user and contain protocols HTTP, Telnet, DNS, FTP, TFTP, and etc. Now let's see the difference between OSI model and TCP/IP suite. OSI model is 7-layered architecture and TCP/IP suite has 4 layers. Starting from first, network interface, second is internet, third is transport, and the fourth one is application layer. TCP/IP suite is not as much popular as compared to OSI model because TCP/IP suite is not able to clearly explain the concept of machine functionality. In a client-server relationship, client machine requests for the data from server machine and server machine fulfill their request. Server machine is a machine which serve and is always ready to fulfill their query. What is IP addresses? One of the important questions in networking. So what is it? IP address can be defined as a unique address of a machine in a network. It is of 32-bit number, means in IP version 4. There are 5 classes of IP addresses: class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. Class A comprise of the one network ID and the rest are the 3 host ID. Its ranges from 0 to 126. Address range 127 is reserved for machine, which is called loopback address. Class B contain 2 network ID and 2 host ID. It ranges from 128 to 191. Class C comprises of 3 network ID and 1 host ID. Ranges from 192 to 223. Class D is used for multicasting and its range from 224 to 239. Class E is used for experimentation purpose. Its ranges from 240 to 255. Time to learn some basics of networking protocol. ARP, which is called Address Resolution Protocol. ARP is used to convert IP address to a physical address. RARP, Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. Reverse Address Resolution Protocol is used to convert physical address to a IP address. Means we can find out the IP address of a machine if we have MAC address. ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. This protocol sends the error message indicating that the service is not available or problem in communication. FTP, File Transfer Protocol. File Transfer Protocol is used to transfer file from one host to another host in a network. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Hypertext Transfer Protocol is an application layer protocol used for transferring hypertext running at port number 80. Its function as a request response in a client-server computing model. POP, Post Office Protocol. POP is an application layer protocol. This protocol is used by email client to retrieve emails from a remote server over a TCP/IP connection. Telnet. Telnet service run on port number 23 and is used to access remote host using a command line interface. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol is used for email transmission across IP network. It uses port number 25. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. Simple Network Management Protocol is used to manage devices in IP network. It monitors network attached devices and gain attention to the network engineer about the network situation. Virtualization is an important concept. Let's take a look. Virtualization is the concept of creating virtual object of the real existing object. Hardware virtualization is creating the virtual machine which work like the original computer with operating system. VirtualBox and VMware Workstation is two important applications used for virtualization. What is the advantage of virtualization? The advantage of virtualization is reduction in cost, faster deployment, easy in backup, better testing environment, no vendor lock-in and disaster recovery are some advantage of virtualization. That's why it is quite famous nowadays. Let's talk about Linux. Linux is a kernel. It is open source and developed by Linus Torvalds. Linux is unique like operating system. It is free and open source. It is flexible and scalable. Linux is considered more suitable and more secure than Windows. For installation of Linux, you have to cross-check some of the important points, such as what kind of system is needed to run Linux, hardware requirement and space requirement. Now let's check how to install Backtrack, a Linux-based operating system. Download the correct Backtrack ISO image for your computer architecture. Burn your ISO to a DVD. Change your computer BIOS and set it to boot from CD-ROM. Now run Linux drive or disk as a live bootable DVD. Install the Linux distribution to your computer. Let us discuss some of the basic commands of Linux. mkdir, which is called make directory. ls stand for list directory contents. cd for change directories. cp for copy files and directories. To install any packages, use command -apt -get space install. To remove package, use -apt -get get space remove. As we know, Linux is open source, so you will find a pool of source in Google to work on Linux. So refer some blogs and practice the commands. That's all about the networking.